Members of Des Moines families say they were terrorized when Ankeny police burst into their home without knocking, and they say somebody could have been hurt or worse, killed because of it. Erin Brilbeck has the story. It's new at 10.
I've been so traumatized I don't sleep at night.
Sally Prince is afraid to stay in her Des Moines home. She isn't afraid of burglars breaking in. She's afraid of the police. On Thursday, Ankeny police executed a search warrant at her home looking for someone they suspected of using stolen credit cards to buy clothes and electronics. The whole search was caught on surveillance video. Ankeny police tell us they knocked first, but the video tells a different story. It shows one officer pounding on the side of the house. Seconds later, officers use a battering ram to force their way in. Prince's son, Justin Ross, was in the bathroom at the time, and he was armed with a gun that he's legally allowed to carry when an officer kicked the door.
I stood up, I drew my weapon, I started to get myself together to come out the door. I heard somebody out in the main room say police, and I reholstered my weapon. I sat back down and I put my hands in my lap.
If the officer had gotten in the bathroom on the first kick, the story probably would have had a different ending.
I would have been standing there with my weapon drawn, pointed at the doorway, and they probably would have shot me.
This was over property purchased with a stolen credit card. It doesn't make any sense that they would go to such extremes for something that simple.
Police apparently did not find any of the items they were looking for in the warrant. They did arrest two people who were staying with the family on unrelated charges. Miranda Scigliano was charged with a probation violation. Richard Adair was charged with possession of drugs with intent to deliver. The family believes the police were also trying to cover up the way they were executing the warrant by covering up and, in one case, even ripping out a security camera. You can see this officer spots the security camera in front of the house and then rips it right out. Another officer spots this video camera downstairs and covers it up. The family says if the police had knocked, they would have opened the door and allowed the officers to search the home. Now they say they're scared the police may come back.
The police are supposed to protect and serve, not make you in fear of them. And I'm totally terrified of them now.
Ankeny police executed the warrant in Des Moines because the alleged theft took place in Ankeny, but the suspects live in Des Moines. Now, Ankeny police say they do not have any written policy governing how they conduct search warrants, and they cannot comment any further on this because it's considered an ongoing investigation.
Police always tell us they have reasons for things they do. Anybody in that house with a violent criminal past that would have made them enter that way?
In a word, no. Two of the people had no criminal history at all. In fact, Justin Ross, the gentleman that we interviewed, was recently honorably discharged from the Army. The third person does have an arrest record, but the most serious charge that we found was for theft, and that charge was dismissed.
And I got to ask, because I assume a lot of people want to know, why do they have all these cameras in the first place, Aaron?
Good question. The woman who owns the house, both of her sons, we interviewed the one. She's got another son that we didn't interview. They're both audiovisual technicians, so they like to tinker a lot, and they put up a lot of these cameras. They have stereo equipment all over the place, and both of their cars have been broken into in the past, so they hung up these cameras.
We'll look forward to you following where this goes. Thank you, Aaron.
Police say